Hello and welcome. Today I have a new blade to introduce to you guys. If you saw my last video talking about the difference between Ripper blades and Ripperclone blades, this one made a brief appearance there, but otherwise this is a premiere for this blade. This blade is called the Excalibur, and it's a new blade from Ripper Blades. It is the largest blade that Ripper Blades makes. And they don't make it quite yet, but they will be soon. Now this is a full 36-inch blade. Most Ripper blades are a lot shorter than this, in about the 30-inch range at some of the longer ones. But this one, full 36-inch for kind of a massive blade. As you can see from it, this is the clone version, so it's mostly see-through. A little bit of a lightning accent here coming up from the base. Let me go ahead and turn it on one more time. This blade is modeled after broadswords, I believe, European style. That's why it's called the Excalibur, from which it derives its name. Most interestingly to some of you guys out there, if you've been following the saber scene, especially on some of the custom forums or the custom Facebook pages, some of you might be familiar with a new saber that's going to be hitting the market soon called the Medieval. It's from Vapod Sabers. I think I said that right. If I didn't, it's based off of Forum 7. Vapod Sabers, and it's from a guy named Takashi. And he's making this lightsaber that is based off of a broadsword. It's got a full crossguard, it's got a very medieval European style hilt section and pommel. And he's partnering with Ripper Blades to offer some exclusive blades that are designed to work well with that saber. The Excalibur is one of those blades. As I understand it, there will be 4. I know of this one, and I know of one other that's based off of Lord of the Rings design, and he's actually working on a couple of his own designs as well. But all of them are designed to be this sort of massive, intimidating European-style blade. So here we have the first of them, the Excalibur. Now, a couple things about this blade. I mentioned that it is massive, and it's heavy. That does mean that unlike a lot of other Ripper blades that stay towards the lighter side, you have to be a little bit more careful with it if you're going to be swinging it around. In all cases with a Ripper blade or with any acrylic flat blade like this, unlike a standard lightsaber blade, you have directionality to it, which means you have a thin side and a flat side. So if you are spinning it around or swinging it around and you're swinging it by the thin or swinging it by the with the edge, it'll cut through the air and it moves rather nicely. If you swing it with the flat, you're going to get wind resistance, and when it hits the end, you're going to get a rebound. Because this blade is so massive, this one does what no other Ripper blade that I have does, which is it has this wobble. I got to be very careful with this, because when I showed this with another model of blade that was about this size from Kyberlite, I snapped it off. And that would happen with this one as well if I weren't gripping it right here, so it sort of eliminates some of the stress on this stress point. So this thing is massive, which means that you have to be more careful swinging it with the blade rather than against it. You also have to be more careful of shock if it were to drop or catch. If it's on the flat, you're going to get some wobble. You're going to get a lot of stress right here at the joint. So you have to be a little bit more careful with this. But from a cosplay and a photography standpoint, it is massive, it is intimidating, and I think it fits very well with the medieval blade that it's going to be, or medieval hilt that it's going to be designed for. Some other things about this, just like the standard Ripper models, we've got a sort of bend in the tang of the blade that focuses the light up the blade very well, and we've got some hot glue, I think, and acrylic weld in here to diffuse the light so that it doesn't shoot out the front, which means that this thing conducts light very well. It illuminates all the way along the side here and actually makes a nice blade shape. The downside of the clones with all this flat area is when it does get scuffed, as it invariably will, you're going to end up with little glowing scuff marks along there. So it won't be clear and pretty forever. But very nice design, something different, and and I think this will be a good new addition to the Ripper Blade lineup. I am looking forward to seeing how it looks on the medieval. I can imagine it's going to look very nice. Hopefully this has been of use to me. Join me back, and I'll be looking at a few other of the newer Ripper models. In the next few videos.